Hey, good morning. How is everyone this morning? I woke up with beautiful skies outside and sunshine. Now it's cloudy and we've had some rain. Not that it's the sunshine is still there, so it's going to be a beautiful day. And the cards are going to give us a bit more of a clue of what our internal day will be. So I'm just going to switch over to the cards pretty much straight away. Good morning, Rena, and good morning to you, Geza. Wonderful. Just going there. So we've got the cards. As you can see, I actually have the perfect there, Adair. Yeah, I bet it is. I did see a little video of when you'd got home. Lovely environment you're in. Be nice to just step out your kitchen door and go for a swim every morning. Um, yes, so, and we've got Leah here as well. And here we go. Hopefully, you don't have tech issues. Yeah, look, sometimes it just happens, Rena, and I've had that happen myself, as you know, because I do mine publicly here in the live streams, and it can happen that way. You do get some glitches. We're lucky to have the technology that we do so that we can share in this way anyway. Now, I've got the cards out, and what I'm using is the Pixies Astounding Lenormand deck. It is a beautiful card set. Just for something that's a little more on the older side, older looking side, the older feel. It's almost like a Rider-Waite tarot style. I'm not sure. I think I did look at the history of this particular design and just trying to think, is there any information on the box? No. Just says lovingly created with artwork from the Smith-Waite tarot deck and the Golden Vanity. Yeah, so they are mixing in some of the Rider-Waite style or Smith-Waite. It's a tribute to Pamela Coleman Smith. So it is a lovely little deck in the tin. So as you know, it's Saturday, the 23rd of October, and on the weekends I do tend to use the different card decks. So, Caitlin, good morning. And we've got these beautiful little hearts, emojis, and stars. Wonderful. Lovely to see you, Caitlin. So, what we've got here just in the upper layer, and I see that more as our conscious level of what the day is going to bring to us. So, we've got the tree, the scythe, and the rider. So, that to me is actually giving it, I'm sensing a communication because we've got the tree and the right. Oh, the dog must have bumped the table. He is. He's He's cleaning himself under the table and bumping the legs. I couldn't convince them to get out of the door. So with the tree, oh, look at those gorgeous little flowers and all the birds or butterflies or things that are actually, oh no, it's the leaves falling. It's not birds and butterflies, but you can imagine that environment, the micro environment that actually is in and around a tree and the leaves, in the leaves and the branches, and how even that beautiful little creek there has its own micro environment. All those things that are surrounding it and near the tree, it really is, it's that sitting together in synchronicity in its natural state and all things taking care of themselves in the way that they're meant to, as far as that natural state. And the way that we as humans have no idea that these interactive little parts of their environment are communicating. We don't know how, but I know that they do. So we know that the trees are communicating all the time with other trees in the networking of what their root system is, of what their branches send out as, oh, do trees have pheromones or similar? That type of thing. There are ways that even what we think of as inanimate objects are going to be communicating through whatever means they do. It's just that knowing. There is things greater than our own understanding. And that's where I'm seeing, as we're moving through with the scythe, here is part of what is our own interaction of tending to the environment. So here, in this instance, the harvest has already been done. That to me looks like it's the stubble. And then the next part would be allowing the sheep in a farming situation, the sheep would come in and clean it up, and then it would be left for the next year's digging in the stubble and the rest, what remains, to be more for the compost, allowing the full cycle to happen again, where man steps in and tends to the ground, fertilizing, tilling, seeding, and the cycle continues. So in that one, oh no, that's actually the heads of the grain are still there, so it's still needing to be harvested. But it is that interaction of what we, as the human, is putting into our environment, and being able to harvest what we need for our sustenance, living, continuing onward in that cycle. So here's the natural cycle that we have with the tree, and the way it's communicating with us, the way that we sometimes try to communicate and do what we need to within our environment. But it actually brings to me what the bigger message is. What is it that we're needing to be doing to continue sustainability, to be able to bring that message? That's what I see the rider as being. The message for today is bringing that which is sustainable, which is going to continue the cycle, because what I'm feeling is a circle, is a cycle. Even though the cards aren't laid out that way, I'm feeling for the conscious mind, for what we're actually living in consciously, that's what our message is to live our message, be that message, and living our lives with that, interacting with each other in a way that our message is clear, that we're putting it across what we believe we need to be doing in our own way of living, so that we are allowing that to be the example for others, so that it can be seen what our harvest is in that, in a way, sustainability, if you can understand what I'm saying there. Oh, is it freezing? Just let me have a look. I'm seeing on My Time TV that I'm still live. Quite okay. I've got the 5 bars in the background. So Caitlin, you're saying it's freezing. I think sometimes it can be. Is it your own internet? So you're frozen there. Okay, I'll just do a refresh. So hold on a moment. You will see the screen go blank for a moment, just to make sure that it's not frozen for you. Now, I'm not sure. There is a delay factor that does happen in the back end of the studio. So let it come back into focus. And here, I'll just see if I can hear the studio. Yep, no, I can hear that. The quality is not the best that it's picking up. Now it is. Okay. Are you seeing me clearly and hearing me clearly? And I have no idea where I got up to where you felt that it was being frozen. I'll go on the trust that it was actually that it was recording fine. So I see what that does. Debbie, I don't do individual readings here in the morning sessions. So you need to be. Oh, what the heck is that? It stopped my broadcast. Facebook stopped my broadcast. Let me just have a look at that. It's saying it stopped it. Let's just take a moment. We'll wait a little moment. I've got an error message in the background, but I'm seeing on mytimetv.live, that's the one I'm monitoring. I'm seeing that I am still going ahead live, and it looks all right. And who was it that mentioned the technology, Rena? And I'm having an issue with the technology from the look of it, but I think it's a Facebook issue. I don't know that it's actually the B.live, so because I can see myself keeping onwards. It's working in my background, and that's exactly it. Technology at its pain in the arse stage. So true. And yeah, Kerry Ann, you can see and hear me clearly now. Thank you for that. I think that was just a delayed message from Facebook that I just got. So good morning, Tracy, and good morning, Kat. At least it allowed you girls to come in almost on time, sort of. And hi to Anne and Leah. Yeah, you can see me clearly. Yeah, I just think it's one of those things with Facebook. Bonetta, good morning. As the live, that's wonderful because you were just that little bit after I'd finished yesterday. So we'll go back to this. So just a quick re-hit on these ones because I do feel that connection with nature. And what I'm getting is the message really that cycle of what is nature doing its own natural thing and the messaging and the communication that nature has within its own ecosystems and microclimates and all the rest, that we come in and we have our influence because we need to sustain ourselves as well in the way that we will crop and do things for our food that are not always in sync with nature. But the message that the writer's bringing is to be the message, to actually be the example for those who are coming forward, you know, as far as our future generations, that we are bringing forward our message as far as the sustainability and working within what is that natural cycle and synchronicity, that we're not actually raping Mother Earth and doing all that should as much as we can keep bringing forward what is that natural cycle for the future generations, minimisation and things like that. That's the message I'm getting because I'm feeling that cycle. And I myself do believe that we have been over exploiting and continue to do so even now with many, many things. And I think being the message of minimalising and only taking what you need, doing what you need to in its simplest form. So that's the message that I'm getting from that. Yes, there is a bit of bias in that. So that's why tune into your own intuitive senses that you're getting what you need to as your messages from any form of tool that you get when you're helping your own senses, your messaging along, you know, what you receive yourself from spirit. Okay. And then we're moving down. So that was more the conscious level of how we are living our life. Now, this as that little bit of an undercurrent or the not subconscious specifically, because otherwise then we wouldn't know it, sort of, you know what I mean? So it's actually bringing to our attention from that level of what we're not really always aware of is the coffin and the lady. It's bringing forward that energy of knowing we are in a cycle, that we do have birth, live our life and death. And that's with every single thing that is created, including what we're creating in this earth. Here we've got the cycle of nature, of Mother Nature, Pachamama, bringing forward that is abundance in and of itself by the natural laws, and how we do tap into that to be part of it in a sense, but out of sync. We do at times do that, at times, a lot of times. But anyway, so what we're bringing in is that cycle. We are going through cycles all the time. And for today, there is part of that happening in that something is going to pass through. By the end of the day, we're going to have said goodbye to that isn't needed anymore, or that or what has passed on and out of our need. We don't need anymore. And I think that's where also partly a cleaning up. We're thinking in our nurturing sense of the lady and being thoughtful and bringing in that consideration of what is the more gentler, the nighttime feel, because the lady is the moon, is the below the earth, is the, so many different things that you pick up in the sense of esoteric at times. Nurturing. So I think it's nurturing through that is a death of some form, a passing through. And that can be objects and things that you're cleaning out and you don't have a need for anymore. So send it on, be considerate and compassionate, and move it on in a good way, whether it's old toys that kids have finished using. Clean out the kids' rooms and clean out your own rooms as to what do you not need anymore, and pass it back to, secondhand places or sell them on, but not for the landfill as much as possible, not just stuffing things back into Mother Earth because it's a good place to dig a hole and just bury it. I think we're needing to move it on in a way that we can reuse as much as possible. And that thoughtfulness of the different ways that we can actually do that. We don't always think of the obvious. So search for some of those things, uh, ways, search for some of those alternatives of how we can actually shift things onto the next person, onto the next owner, or to just a recycling place that it can actually be reused in some form once broken down again. That's for the things. For ourselves, we do need to be spending some time today, I feel, in that contemplation of getting in touch with that more feminine energy and allowing that softness and that contemplation of, the compassionate way, from the heart way of living, and bringing all this into place. We need to be thinking more and more, I feel, about how we can do things more sustainably for our future generations. So that's sort of a little bit of a hobby horse of mine. Now, Sean, I don't do individual readings in these morning card spreads. It is a general card spread reading. So tune into your own intuitive senses and pick up what Spirit's guiding you to see in these cards, because each and every one of you is going to see something different, feel something different, and get different messages from these. So just tap into it. And if you don't think you've got it, you have. You just need to allow that sitting in a bit of contemplation to let the messages come in. Know that you have, you're tapping into it, you've got it turned on, and there it goes. I forgot I put the comments on automatically this morning. So allow that messaging from Spirit to come in, and you might hear it in different ways. It doesn't have to be that you're going to hear it as someone speaking to you, or someone seeing something flash in front of your eyes or anything. I mean, I get the messages in many different ways. Sometimes it's just that knowing without knowing that you just receive, open up to receiving those messages from Spirit. And if you get sick of how chatty they can be, ask them to, can you tone it down a bit, or I want some rest, can you please go away? Whichever way it suits you to connect with your spiritual guidance. It's always a possible. Okay, thank you so much for being here this morning. And tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, around about. And you can watch this again as a replay straight away. It should record so that it's there to be able to watch again, or for those who are on replay, it's there. It should be. So thank you, Keza, and everyone. Have a beautiful day. And I do keep encouraging each and every one of you to be the best you. You are unique. You are beautiful. Be you in the best way possible. And namaste until tomorrow. Bye for now.